It was either 2017 or 2018. I can't remember the exact year. I was working, obviously, I was a police officer with Queensland Police Service, and I was seconded to the Triple C. I was working as a covert surveillance officer, working within a team within the Triple C. We had just completed a major training exercise in conjunction with, I think it was every other major agency around the nation. Our team was having an informal debrief with a fairly major player in the surveillance, counterterrorism, and intelligence field. He was describing the history of surveillance and intelligence within Australia and Western governments, and discussing what direction counterterrorism and surveillance was going in. I found I found the debrief interesting, if not a little disturbing. So let's go through a very brief review of how systems have developed over the last 3 decades. Basically, this is the way I'm looking at it. A crisis occurs, a solution is implemented, and we all go along for the greater good. So, following the 9/11 attacks, several laws and regulations were implemented to enhance national security and prevent future terrorist threats. In the USA, they brought in the USA Patriot Act, which was enacted in 2001. This act granted law enforcement agencies broader surveillance powers and enhanced information sharing among agencies to combat terrorism. Department of Homeland Security, DHS, established in 2003, the DHS brought together various agencies to focus on homeland security and counterterrorism efforts. FISA Amendment Act of 2008. This act allowed intelligence agencies to monitor terrorist communications more effectively while protecting civil liberties, supposedly. Immigration policies, the government shifted focus on border security and criminal alien removal, leading to stricter immigration laws. Surveillance powers, the USA Patriot Act relaxed legal protections against surveillance, allowing the NSA to collect communications between foreign targets and Americans. These measures have significantly impacted civil liberties and privacy, raising concerns about their balance with national security. Australia went along with just about everything. We fell in line, implemented significant changes to our surveillance practices based on the USA Patriot Act. So, sitting within this briefing, we were talking about how the Patriot Act within America and obviously the attacks of 9/11, how this had all shaped surveillance, surveillance tactics, and the way people thought of counterterrorism throughout the whole world and how it had affected us in Australia. And the things that we'd brought in, the freedoms that we had given up in Australia in order to go along with extreme surveillance powers, in my view. So fast forward to the global financial crisis of 2008, the GFC. Then we had several laws and regulations were introduced to enhance financial stability and prevent future crisis. The Dodd-Frank Act was signed in 2010. The Emergency Economic Stabilization Act, or the EESA, the European Regulatory Framework, the Global Financial Stability Board, or the G20. All these things came about because of the GFC. Again, Australia went along with everything. Australia implemented its own rules and regulations. Obviously, we're a big fan of the G20. These measures were designed to improve financial system resilience, protect consumers, and ensure responsible lending practices. Again, we all go along with it. It's for our safety, it's for our protection. We give up a little bit more of our freedoms, but when there's a crisis, these are the controls that are brought in place, and these are the things that we're willing to give up. Fast forward again, we have the COVID-19 pandemic. Various laws, regulations, and restrictions were implemented globally, including biosecurity measures. The Australian government declared a human biosecurity emergency under the Biosecurity Act of 2015, which was extended multiple times to manage the pandemic. Legislative responses included the Australian Parliament passed numerous acts related to COVID-19, including 8 acts in March of 2020, and a total of 714 pandemic related legislative instruments between March of 2020 and April of 2022. You heard it. That was 714 pandemic related legislative instruments. So, workplace regulations, COVID-19 workplace laws were established to protect workers and ensure compliance with health and safety regulations during the pandemic. Vaccine mandates, obviously. Mandatory vaccination for certain groups, such as residential aged care workers, was implemented to enhance public health services. Also, obviously, mandatory vaccination for police, ambulance, hospital workers, all those kinds of things. These measures reflect the comprehensive approach taken to control the spread of COVID-19, possibly also to control the citizens of Australia and also to protect public health. Obviously, this is all brought about for public protection. A crisis occurs, control is established, and we lose and we lost more freedom. But now, governments are drilling down into what they really want. That's my opinion. New digital laws for online content are coming in for Australia. You've got the Digital ID Act, of 2024, introduces a new framework for online content in Australia, aiming to enhance security and modernise service access. The key points include mandatory ID checks. They love mandatory. Platforms like YouTube and Google will require ID verification for users, not just children, potentially with digital IDs or biometric data. When they say potentially, I think it's more like probably, definitely. Age verification laws. These laws will require age verification for accessing certain online platforms, including social media and gambling sites. E-Safety Commission powers. The E-Safety Commissioner, we all know the E-Safety Commissioner, will have expanded powers to police online content. And oh my, does she love policing online content, including the removal of harmful content and compliance enforcement. Privacy and security. The Digital ID Act enshrines privacy and consumer protections, ensuring that identity verification is secure and accessible. It's all for our privacy, all for our security, all for our protection. These changes are part of a broader effort to modernise identity verification processes in Australia, with the aim of balancing efficiency and security, peace and security, while addressing public concerns. I'm not sure the public really had any concerns, but they're addressing them anyway. Now, big news coming out of the UK. Probably all of you have heard about this. We'll go through some of the key points to Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, his digital ID announcement. They have a mandatory digital ID coming in. All UK citizens and legal residents will be required to hold a digital identity card by the end of the Parliament. The news that different people are reporting on different things. So, well, you're not actually going to actually hold a physical card. You can walk around and hold a digital ID. Who knows what that's going to look like in the very near future? Think about that. Right to work checks. The digital ID. This is the promise that the Prime Minister's making. The digital ID will be mandatory for right to work checks, making it easier for for the majority to access vital government services. No requirement to carry. Individuals will not be required to carry their ID or be asked to produce it, but it will be mandatory for proving their right to work. So you don't have to carry it, but it's going to be mandatory to prove that you can actually work. Oh, but hey, it's all about combating illegal immigration. The these I can't even the stupidity of this announcement is just breathtaking, in my opinion. The initiative aims to combat illegal working and deter individuals from making dangerous journeys to the UK. Think about this: the UK it's a fairly small island. One way to combat illegal immigration would just be to protect your borders. Considering you live on a very small island, I would not have thought it would be that difficult. Also, you already had to prove that you could work within the UK anyway. You already had to prove that you had the right to work in the UK. Biometric security. The digital ID will include biometric security features such as name, date of birth, nationality or residency status, and a photo. These key points summarize the main aspects of Keir Starmer's digital ID announcement, focusing on its purpose, implementation, and implications for the UK's immigration and government services landscapes. Like I said, we have a crisis. The government comes up with some kind of controls. They come up and say, well, we've got the answers for this crisis. Now, just forget the fact that maybe we caused the crisis. Maybe we have an immigration issue because we've caused the immigration issue. Maybe we have too many people working illegally because we allowed so many illegal immigrants into the country in the first place. Don't look at that. Don't look at this fact that we caused the problem, because now we have the answer. We have the answer, and you need to all go along. So here's what I think has happened. We've had the 9/11 attacks, we had the GFC, we had the pandemic coming. We've got these new ID digital laws coming in Australia, new ID laws coming in the UK. I think that's eventually this will come in around the whole world. It's all for our own peace and our own safety. We're going to continue to have more terrorism related issues. And it's not just terrorists from other countries. It'll be people who are actually born in the nation being accused of terrorism related offences. And obviously we're going to have another crisis. So where are we going? I thoroughly believe that we are heading towards what I refer to, and what is many others refer to as the global beast system, as described in the Bible. The Bible describes in Revelation chapter 13 a system, a government system, and a financial system, and a religious system where you cannot buy or sell unless you have some kind of identification, what's called a mark of the beast on your body, either on your hand or your forehead. I think this is where we're going with all these digital identification systems that are being brought in. We're going to continue to have another crisis. You look at what they're bringing in Australia. They've got their online ID laws coming in. All we'll do is have another crisis, another reason for government to say, well, we need to protect you. This is for your benefit, for your protection. We need to change the laws. We need to bring these things in. You can all go along. I think we already have everything in place with our new national ID laws. Let's just restrict it a little further. And for our peace, for our safety, we'll all continue to go along with it. This is where it's going, in my opinion. We're heading down this path. I don't think it can be denied. Let me know what you think. I think these are very concerning times. And it's funny that, well, not funny, but how strange is it that the Bible, written over 2,000 years ago, has described something and we're seeing it come to pass now? This is all my opinion. Let me know what you think. My name is Jay Fallon, and thank you for listening to The Slippery Slope.
Just fuel a desire that will take me higher. I'm on fire because nothing's gonna bring me down. Nothing's gonna bring me down. Nothing's gonna stop me now. No more deals to be done. No more selling out my soul just to focus on the goal. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna hold me down. Got my eye on the prize. Got my eye on the prize. And tears on side. Nothing's gonna bring me down. Nothing's gonna stop me now. No more deals to be done. No more selling out my soul just to